Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Press Pause. So Aurora and I, we're back today, and today's episode we're going to talk about why film series today keep failing. And we'll jump into that here in a little bit, but before we do, I want to let you guys know, again, Aurora is the 4-year-old dachshund that's in the intro video of the channel. Anytime you see a blurb or something like that pop up, she's the editor, so that's her humor. She's got a great personality, and we hope you guys get some entertainment out of it throughout this video. Also, we are official travel agents. We specialize in Disney, Universal, Royal Caribbean, Carnival Cruise Line, Sandals Resort, SeaWorld, you name it, we can pretty much do it for you. So feel free to reach out to us. Our information will be below. But with that being said, let's jump into today's topic, and that is, again, why film series today keep failing. Guys, it's continuous right now that every time there's a new film series, I get super excited for it, especially like, Jurassic World. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, and there's so many letdowns that we get. Fantastic Beasts, there's letdowns, and the Disney Star Wars franchise, there's a lot of letdowns there, and so there's a lot of things that we've been seeing, and Aurora wanted to bring some of those to you guys and let you know, kind of why that's going on. Basically, ever since Avengers came out, and we started on the path to one of the greatest film series of all time, with the end of it being Endgame, there's not really been a great film series, since that's been started. There's not been a great film series started since then. Obviously, I think The Hobbit was finishing up around that time, which is a great series. But these other ones, they just didn't really hit the mark. And we're here to talk about that. Literally, it's kind of like Thanos. It's kind of like he took the stones in the Avengers movie and snapped it and said, you know what? There's going to be no other film series that even comes close to us, just like that. There is a franchise that's been immune to this, and that is Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla's been immune to this. It's a great franchise. They did a really good job with that, but there's also a lot less that has to go into it because it's animals, giant animals, and they don't have a lot of personality, and there's not all that much to develop with them, so it's a little bit easier to get that done, right? So I think that's why that's been done. But anyway, we're going to jump into the first one here. We got about 6 of them. First is running to throw something together on screen, okay? And we see this happen way too often, guys, where something's just thrown together because, Universal or Disney or whoever is looking to get, the money for this movie, and they just hurry to get something out in theaters because the buzz of the last trilogy or whatever is heightened right now. And it really hurts it because of 2 different things. One, you fly by the seat of your pants, okay? And when you get into a situation where you're flying by the seat of your pants, it's never gonna work out well, okay? Because you're referring to a story that isn't written out. It's not written out, it's not developed, and it's gonna allow you to change your mind like you change underwear, just every day, come up with something else different. And then so what you create in the first movie is always gonna go off track. It's never gonna line up, it's never gonna fit, okay? And there's obvious plot holes that come from this every single time. Everybody will sit there and say, if they take their time, they do a good job, they don't have to worry about that. No, there will be plot holes. It's going to happen. It's happened in every one of these franchises that we're going to be talking about today. So that's the first thing when it comes to throwing something together too quick. Second is under-deliverable character and plot development. Guys, you got so many times that you've got issues within the plots. Okay, you got so many times there's issues within the characters, and they're being thrown in there. I mean, look at the Justice League. That movie threw in the Flash and Cyborg, and nobody knew anything about these guys, and all of a sudden they're supposed to be big feature characters. Look at Batman versus Superman. Nobody knew anything about this version of Batman. So it was thrown together, and it was crap. It was crap, guys. You don't have enough time to develop these characters and plots, and that's why the Marvel Cinematic Universe did such a great job. They developed every character. Look at the Godzilla movies. They developed each character. Kong had a movie. Godzilla had a movie. They brought them together. Great. Awesome. It was epic. Godzilla actually had 2 movies, so they went even above and beyond. They could have rushed it a little bit more, and they didn't. Being patient is what's really going to matter, okay? I don't know what's going on with my hair today. It's all over the place. But, yeah, it's crazy, and then you get things with Star Wars where you've got just throwaway characters. They're not iconic. They don't make sense. Finn, Poe, Rey, Kylo Ren, basically everybody. they're characters that they're not developed properly, and you can't really care about them because they're not developed properly, right? You never really get this sense of caring about them and appreciating them or anything they went through, right? And then you look at Disney Star Wars, the best thing that happened was, oh, they bring back the old characters. Oh wait, just to butcher them, because everything we developed in the previous movies, let's ruin it. Let's take their character and just completely ruin it, right? And then Fantastic Beasts couldn't even come up with a good on-screen explanation for, a massive plot point. Next up is making changes to visionaries, or the visionaries changing their mind, okay? So this is something where when you go back to the previous Jurassic Park film, just the first film and even the second film, there was some direction there. There was a vision and people saw it, and Steven Spielberg saw it, and they developed off that. Star Wars, George Lucas developed this. Tolkien already wrote all the works for Lord of the Rings. They just had to follow the roadmap. It makes it work, right? So then you get these places that don't do that. They change directors, they change producers, they change writers. Everything changes with every single film, and every film feels different. They don't feel like they're in the same universe. They don't feel like they're telling a continuous story, and it's a mess. Disney Star Wars, they changed directors and writers with each film, including during filming they changed directors because Kathleen Kennedy didn't like the direction that they were going in. So this continued to have, movies like from literally Star Wars, the Disney films, seemed like they were Seinfeld episodes. You didn't have to know anything about what happened before. Nothing. You literally had to know nothing about Star Wars to jump into each of those films, and you didn't feel lost. Well, yeah, you didn't feel lost. If you were a diehard Star Wars fan, you felt more lost watching these movies than fans who never watched them. That's not good. That's not what the diehard fans want. That's not the people that are sitting there and making this franchise iconic for years and years and years. That's not what they want. So you're sitting there under-delivering to these people who are going to continue to bankroll this franchise, and you're going to disappoint them. That's what's ending up happening. So it ends up now you force in plots, right? So you're forcing in plots because of this. You're forcing plots in there because you don't have a storyline. So then you're like, oh, I like this idea. Let's throw this in there and make it happen. But it doesn't line up with what you set up before. So whatever. Then your plot just doesn't work and it pops out of nowhere for no reason.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Okay, look at Jurassic World. Jurassic World did the same thing. The franchise changed directors, but it maintained writers, and it made the trilogy better as far as the plot lining up over time. It did a good job of flowing better than these other ones. But Fantastic Beasts, it maintained directors and writers throughout the series. So why has the third installment failed so much? We're going to get into that here with the next topic. The next topic is forcing political agendas, to your main plot. This is happening more and more nowadays. People are more outspoken, obviously. People want to sit there and talk about their social and political views, whether it's directors, producers, whoever. They want to flaunt it out there, right? But when you're making a film, you can't sit there and force that into your main plot series because it doesn't fit. You're trying to force a square into a round hole because people go there and they want to see a round hole, and then all of a sudden they're seeing a square forced in their face. They don't want to watch that. They want to watch what's been built, guys. So this has been done beautifully with using subtle political beliefs and subtle social religious beliefs in the past. Look at Lord of the Rings. There's race issues that are in there. There's religious atmospheres and thoughts that are in there. Look at Harry Potter and Star Wars. There's slavery topics that are brought up in both of those movies. It's as subplots. Okay, there's religious aspects that go into those. Again, it's a subplot, okay? And then political corruption is in there. It's a subplot. And those subplots create detailed, bigger stories, gives you backstories, depth to what your movies are. But if you force that to be in the front, all you're doing is making this a political ad, and people don't want to see that. It's really frustrating. So, Disney Star Wars, they continue pushing female superiority. That's what they did. They pushed female superiority. Look at the scene where you had Laura Dern sitting there, and her character was keeping vital military information from your lead military person. The one guy who's the head of your military. you don't tell him what your military plan is. And they literally filmed this and tried to make it look like Poe, the guy who led the military, was in the wrong. No one came away from this film thinking that. They all came away from it thinking, why in the heck didn't this woman just sit there and tell him what the plan was so he'd sit down, shut up, and do what they were supposed to do? Whatever. It's ridiculous. So, I think honestly, this is the film that Kathleen Kennedy changed directors in the middle of. I think she literally sat there and said, you know what? I went through this situation and I want to put this in my movie. So I'm going to make this guy look like an idiot because I didn't have a plan. And when he came to me and asked me about the plan for the movie, I didn't have one. So I just told him, go sit down and shut up and we're going to do whatever we want. And then I fired him because he didn't listen to me. Do you think that's what happened? I think she made it a little too personal here. What do you think?
Possibly.
Anyway, Fantastic Beasts, okay? Same thing. J.K. Rowling's pushing her agenda because of the whole election issue that she had. Election corruption and tampering and things like that. Not a Trump fan. I get it. Whatever. That's fine. You can push whatever you want in your channels, like your personal beliefs and stuff, fine, whatever. But you don't need to force this into your medium. It kills your brand. It kills the story. It's not what people come to. You built this plot line up about Credence being a Dumbledore, and then we see Credence like a couple times, and he basically does nothing both times. You build up these things about the creatures and focusing on the creatures in Fantastic Beasts, and then you literally do nothing with the creatures. Absolutely nothing. You focus on these little crab things that like move and shake and wiggle all the time. They're doing the cha-cha, and you don't sit there and talk about and explain what they are, what they do, where they come from. None of the creatures in there got fully explained and in depth and brought to life that made you appreciate their characteristics and things like that the way you did in the first two movies. You want to know why? Because we had to force this whole thing about a Trump hating policy. That's all that J.K. Rowling was trying to do. So again, you can't take your political and social beliefs and stuff and force it into your films and make it the main plot, because you're going to lose sight of all the details that have to go into a film to give it substance and make it good. And it really sucks. I was so excited for the third Fantastic Beasts movie, guys. I really was. And it hurt. It hurt. It really did, because there was a lot of potential there. Even though Crimes of Grindelwald wasn't the best, there was a lot they had to go off of and catapult from. And then they turned it into a Seinfeld episode and basically said, you don't need to know anything about what happened in the last film. Okay, because we want to force this political news ad that J.K. Rowling wants us to push right now. It sucked. It sucked, guys. Next is plot armor. Okay, I see this way too much nowadays. We pay actors tons of money to be in these movies, and yeah, I get it. You don't want them to die off too early because then you wasted money for them to be in this film and whatnot. But guys, no one likes to see a lead character die. I understand. But at the same time, it makes the movie real. We have to see someone die. We have to know there's danger. We have to know something could happen at any time to lose the people that we care about in these films. And if we don't, why do I need to watch? Like literally, halfway through Dominion, anytime I saw a dinosaur coming up to a lead character, and it was like supposed to be a scary scene, I just zoned out. I was like, all right, well, let me know when they figure out how to get away from this, because they're going to. They're always going to. It makes it boring, guys. It makes it boring. It was done well in Jurassic Park. Like, they killed off Muldoon and Mr. Arnold. They killed off the lawyer. Those guys died. In Harry Potter, they killed Snape. They killed Dumbledore and Sirius Black. Awesome. People didn't want to see that. People were sad by that. They were frustrated it happened. But you know what? They appreciated that you went there. They appreciated it. And you know what? They really cared moving forward, because anybody they liked could die at any moment at that point. They knew it. They knew it. And we gave it to them, and it was awesome. Give people more of that. Look at Star Wars. Qui-Gon Jinn. Mace Windu. Look at Lord of the Rings, and you've got Theoden, Boromir, Thorin, okay? Even Godzilla got it right, because they killed Mothra. And Mothra doesn't even talk, but it was a good guy, and we knew that, and we killed her off. It works, okay? They did a horrible job with this in Jurassic World. They did a horrible job in Fantastic Beasts. Look at Fantastic Beasts. You've got 6 people, literally 6. You bring the old people, you got the new people, you got 6 main lead people. And you can't kill one of them? Not one? Really? I think there was only like 3 people die in the entire Jurassic World Dominion movie. I think only 3 people died. And only one of them was an on-screen death. It was the guy on the little Segway, which I thought was awesome, by the way. Absolutely amazing scene. Loved it. But I need more of it. Give me more of that. More people actually dying. That's what people love about this film. And yeah, you want to make it for families. You want to get the general population in more. Fine, but don't take away from the core population that's built this up for you. That's what they did, okay? Next is neglecting established rules within your franchise, okay? So essentially this is when rules are established, things are set up within this world that's been built, and you go against it now making new movies, or in your trilogy at some point you make rules. You do things that go against these rules that you built up, okay? Look at Fantastic Beasts. In the Harry Potter franchise, it was huge for people to be able to do non-verbal magic. It's very difficult, okay? It is something that a lot of people can't do. Most people are having to cast spells and say it and things like that. That is something that we go accustomed to. But in Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, everybody just whipping their wands around and, doing non-verbal magic left and right. Everybody can do it. It's not a big deal. That sucks, guys. It takes the realism away. It's like, oh, okay, you're just turning this into an action movie now. We don't even know the spells they're casting. We're not learning anything about the magical world. We're just seeing action shots go. That's not what people want. That's not why people watch these movies. We grew to watch those movies because we wanted to learn about the magical world. Look at Disney Star Wars, okay? They went against the rules. In the movies, force healing is something that is not existed in the movies. It is not there. It's never shown. No one's shown or said to have the ability to do it. Then all of a sudden, Rey can do it just like that. Like Thanos snapped his fingers. Boom. She can do it. That doesn't make any sense, guys. I don't get it. When you're sitting there and you're saying this is a thing, and then, oh, well, McGonagall shouldn't be alive, so you're going against that because of the age. And then, it's supposed to take, in Disney Star Wars, it's supposed to take immense training to do certain things and be a powerful Jedi. But all of a sudden, Rey is a super powerful Jedi by doing some forest jungle training stuff that Leia has told her. It took Luke a long time to become a Jedi Knight. He had to train a lot with Yoda, and we had to learn some of those things that he learned along the way. We didn't see any of that. We just cut through it. It sucked. We didn't want that, okay? This leads me to my next one, okay? And this is too much time skipping. You can't jump too far in a film. Look at what happened in the Hobbit movies and look at the Lord of the Rings movies, okay? 2 amazing trilogies. And why is that? Because we picked up right where we left off. We left with cliffhangers, we left at big moments, and everybody was saying, oh my God, I have to know what happens next. And guess what? In the next film, we saw what happened next, okay? But in these movies, we don't. Disney's Star Wars, okay? We show up after the events of Episode 6, and what happens? The First Order's there. They're already there. All this stuff's happened with Kylo Ren and all these different things, and we see a little bit of what happens with Kylo Ren, but we don't learn about the Knights of Ren. We don't learn about Snoke and where he come from. We don't learn about the First Order and how they developed and how they fostered themselves into a military threat at all. We didn't learn any of that, okay? It's completely taken away from us. We jumped in time way too much. People want to see those things. Plus, it helps you get more movies out there. People will want to see that, and you skip too far in time. Jurassic World Dominion, same thing. They're the worst offender of this. We jumped 5 years into the future. It was ridiculous. Guys, we wanted to see dinosaurs coexisting on Earth. We wanted to see them just now getting to Earth. Or, not Earth, but just now getting to the mainland. We wanted to see how they interacted, how people interacted, what we had to do to figure out how to coexist with them, how we captured the different ones, what types of precautions were taken to make sure these dinosaurs were not a threat. We didn't get to see any of that. We fast forwarded all the way through it and said, you know what, dinosaurs aren't a problem. Let's focus on these big giant bugs and let's focus on this clone girl. It's a franchise about dinosaurs, and we literally skipped all the interesting things about the dinosaurs coming to the mainland. I don't get it. Why did we do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Those were the 6. We'll show them on the chart here. You guys can see all these different films had offense of breaking these in quite a bit of ways. And obviously there's other individual reasons for each of these series and each of these films as to why they didn't succeed or why they had issues or continuity errors and things like that across the platforms. Yes, I know that. But these are the things that we're seeing to be a pattern. It's starting to become a pattern across the board with a lot of different film franchises, even solo individual films. Some of these things are starting to be patterns that we're seeing, and it's just sad. So yeah, those are the things we're seeing. Hopefully these things can get fixed when they're making more franchises moving forward. Which of these were more detrimental to you? Which of these do you think is the biggest problem with these franchises? Is there anything big that you see across multiple ones that we missed? Please let us know in the comments. We'd really appreciate that. And like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, Aurora would love some likes and for you guys to subscribe. She appreciates any support that we can get on the channel. And again, we are official travel agents, and we'd love to help you book your next set of magical memories. Our information will be below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again on the next video.